Here's something that might shock you. Recent research following 4.1 million people showed that those who ate specific plant-based foods had a 34% lower risk of developing diabetes. But here's the even more incredible part. Some people with existing type 2 diabetes are actually seeing their condition go into what doctors call remission just by changing what they eat. I'm not talking about some miracle cure or expensive supplements. I'm talking about regular foods you can find at any grocery store, backed by solid science from places like Harvard Medical School and published in major medical journals. Today, we're diving into 7 specific foods that research shows can help manage and, in some cases, help reverse type 2 diabetes naturally. But before we start, and this is important, this information is meant to work alongside your doctor's care, not replace it. Always talk with your healthcare team before making major changes. Let me start by explaining what we mean when we say reverse diabetes. Doctors use the term remission. This means your blood sugar levels return to normal ranges without needing diabetes medication. Newcastle University has been studying this extensively, and they've found that certain dietary approaches can actually help people achieve diabetes remission. Now, type 2 diabetes happens when your body either doesn't make enough insulin or your cells become resistant to insulin. Think of insulin like a key that unlocks your cells so sugar can get in and give you energy. When this system breaks down, sugar builds up in your blood instead of fueling your cells. The foods we'll talk about today work in different ways. Some help your body use insulin better, others slow down how fast sugar enters your bloodstream, and some actually help your body produce insulin more effectively. What's really exciting is that this isn't just theory anymore. A 2024 systematic review of 52 studies found that specific dietary patterns, especially low-carbohydrate Mediterranean diets, were more effective than traditional low-fat diets for achieving type 2 diabetes remission. Food number 1, leafy greens. Let's start with something you probably already know is healthy, but maybe didn't know just how powerful it is for diabetes. Leafy greens like spinach, kale, and collard greens, research specifically mentions that green leafy vegetables have been linked to lower diabetes rates. But why? These greens are loaded with magnesium, which helps your body process glucose more effectively. They're also incredibly low in carbohydrates. A whole cup of raw spinach has just 1 gram of carbs. Here's the key though. It's not just about eating a salad once in a while. The research suggests that people who consistently include leafy greens in their diet see the biggest benefits. Try adding a handful of spinach to your morning smoothie or having a side salad with lunch and dinner. One thing I love about leafy greens is that they're so versatile. You can sauté them with garlic, blend them into soups, or even hide them in pasta sauces. Your blood sugar won't spike, but you'll get a massive dose of nutrients that support healthy insulin function.
Food number 2, berries. Now, you might be surprised to see fruit on a diabetes-friendly list, but berries are special. Specific research has linked blueberries, grapes, and apples to lower diabetes rates, and there's a scientific reason for this. Berries are packed with something called anthocyanins. These are the compounds that give berries their deep, rich colors. Studies show that anthocyanins can improve how your cells respond to insulin and help slow down the absorption of sugar after meals. But here's what makes berries particularly diabetes-friendly compared to other fruits. They're high in fiber and relatively low in sugar. A cup of fresh blueberries has about 15 grams of carbs, but 4 grams of that is fiber, which actually helps control blood sugar spikes. The timing matters too. Some research suggests that eating berries before or with meals can help blunt the blood sugar response from other foods you eat. Try adding berries to plain Greek yogurt or having a small handful as a snack with some nuts. Fresh is best, but frozen berries without added sugar are just as nutritious. Just avoid berry juices or dried berries with added sugar. Those will spike your blood sugar quickly. Food number 3, cinnamon. this one might surprise you because we usually think of cinnamon as just a spice, but the research on cinnamon and diabetes is actually quite impressive. A randomized controlled trial found that treatment with cinnamon for 12 weeks resulted in favorable changes in glucose homeostasis in participants with prediabetes. Recent studies show that cinnamon supplementation significantly reduced fasting blood glucose levels among type 2 diabetes patients. Cinnamon may lower blood sugar following meals by blocking digestive enzymes that break down carbs. Essentially, it slows down how quickly your body absorbs sugar from food.
But not all cinnamon is created equal. Ceylon cinnamon, sometimes called true cinnamon, is better than the regular cassia cinnamon you find in most grocery stores. Ceylon has less coumarin, which can be harmful in large amounts. How much should you use? Most studies use about half a teaspoon to 1 teaspoon per day. You can sprinkle it on oatmeal, add it to coffee or tea, or even include it in savory dishes. I like to add a pinch to my morning smoothie. Just remember, cinnamon isn't a magic bullet. It works best as part of an overall healthy eating pattern.
Food number 4, legumes, beans, lentils, and chickpeas. Legumes have been shown to be particularly beneficial for diabetes management, and when you understand how they work, you'll see why. Legumes are like the perfect diabetes food. They're high in protein and fiber, but the carbohydrates they contain are complex carbs that digest slowly. This means they provide steady energy without causing blood sugar spikes. There's something called the second meal effect with legumes. This means that if you eat beans or lentils at lunch, they can actually help keep your blood sugar more stable at dinner too. It's like they prime your system for better blood sugar control throughout the day. The fiber in legumes also feeds the beneficial bacteria in your gut, and we're learning that gut health plays a huge role in blood sugar control and insulin sensitivity. Start small if you're not used to eating beans, maybe half a cup at first to avoid digestive discomfort. You can add them to soups, salads, or make them the base of a hearty stew. Black beans, kidney beans, lentils, or chickpeas, they're all great options. One tip, if you're using canned beans, rinse them first to reduce the sodium content.
Food number 5, nuts and seeds. Nuts and seeds might seem high in calories, but they're incredibly beneficial for blood sugar control. Diabetes UK specifically mentions nuts as part of a calorie-controlled healthy diet that supports diabetes remission. The combination of healthy fats, protein, and fiber in nuts helps slow down digestion and prevents blood sugar spikes. Studies have shown that people who regularly eat nuts have better insulin sensitivity and lower A1C levels. Almonds, walnuts, pistachios, chia seeds, and flax seeds are all excellent choices. Each brings something different to the table. Walnuts are high in omega-3 fatty acids, which help reduce inflammation in your body. Chia seeds expand in your stomach, helping you feel full longer. Almonds are particularly rich in magnesium, which supports healthy insulin function. The key is portion control. A small handful, about an ounce, is a perfect serving size. That's roughly 23 almonds or 14 walnut halves. Try adding chopped nuts to your oatmeal or yogurt, or keep a small container of mixed nuts in your car for when you need a quick snack. Just make sure they're unsalted and not covered in sugar or chocolate. Food number 6, fatty fish. Fatty fish like salmon, mackerel, sardines, and tuna are diabetes superstars for several reasons. First, they're high in protein, which helps stabilize blood sugar and keeps you feeling satisfied longer. But the real magic is in their omega-3 fatty acids. These healthy fats help reduce inflammation in your body, and chronic inflammation is closely linked to insulin resistance. UCLA Medical School research specifically mentions fish as part of healthy eating patterns for people with diabetes. Studies have shown that people who eat fatty fish regularly have lower rates of developing diabetes, and those who already have diabetes often see improvements in their blood sugar control and cardiovascular health. The American Diabetes Association recommends eating fish at least twice a week. Aim for about 3 to 4 ounces per serving. That's about the size of your palm. If fresh fish is expensive or hard to find, canned salmon and sardines are just as nutritious. Just choose varieties packed in water rather than oil to keep the calories in check. Don't like fish? You can get similar benefits from other sources of omega-3s, like walnuts, flax seeds, and chia seeds. But fish provides the most bioavailable form. Food number 7, whole grains. Now, this might seem counterintuitive since we often think of cutting carbs for diabetes, but the right kinds of grains can actually be helpful. Research specifically shows that whole grains, including specific daily servings of whole grains, are beneficial for diabetes management. The key word here is whole. We're talking about oats, quinoa, brown rice, and barley, not white bread or white rice. Refined grains like white bread, white rice, and white pasta can create glucose spikes in the body and should be limited. Whole grains contain all parts of the grain kernel, including the fiber-rich bran and the nutrient-dense germ. This fiber slows down digestion and helps prevent blood sugar spikes. Oats are particularly beneficial because they contain a specific type of fiber called beta-glucan, which has been shown to improve insulin sensitivity and lower cholesterol levels. Start your day with steel-cut oats topped with berries and nuts, or try quinoa as a base for lunch bowls. Brown rice can replace white rice in most dishes, and barley makes a hearty addition to soups. The portion size matters. Aim for about half a cup of cooked whole grains per meal, and always pair them with protein and healthy fats to further slow digestion.
Now, you might be thinking, this is great, but how do I actually use this information? Let me give you some practical ways to incorporate these foods into your daily routine. The most effective approach is a calorie-controlled, healthy, balanced diet made up of foods high in nutrients like fruit and vegetables, lean meat, fish, beans, pulses, nuts, whole grains. Start your day with oatmeal topped with berries, nuts, and a sprinkle of cinnamon. That covers 4 of our 7 foods right there. For lunch, try a big salad with leafy greens, chickpeas, and a piece of grilled salmon. Dinner could be a stir-fry with more leafy greens, some brown rice, and another serving of fish or beans. The research shows that it's not about perfection, it's about consistency. The people who saw the biggest reduction in diabetes risk were those most adherent to healthy eating patterns over time. One important point: studies show that low-carbohydrate Mediterranean diet approaches, compared to traditional low-fat diets, were more effective for achieving diabetes remission, especially in newly diagnosed patients. This means focusing on healthy fats from nuts and fish, plenty of vegetables, and moderate amounts of whole grains. Remember, portion sizes matter. Even healthy foods can affect blood sugar if you eat too much of them. Work with a registered dietitian or your healthcare team to figure out the right portions for your individual needs. The science behind why this works. Let me explain why these foods are so effective at helping with diabetes management and potentially reversing the condition. Research shows that the right foods can improve insulin resistance, reduce inflammation, increase antioxidant activity, and help with weight management, all key factors in diabetes reversal. When you eat refined sugars and processed foods, your blood sugar spikes quickly, forcing your pancreas to pump out lots of insulin. Over time, your cells become resistant to this insulin. But when you eat the foods we've discussed today, several good things happen. First, the fiber slows down sugar absorption, preventing those dangerous spikes. Second, the healthy fats and proteins help your cells become more sensitive to insulin again. Third, the antioxidants in these foods reduce inflammation, which is a major driver of insulin resistance. Some research even shows that specific dietary interventions like therapeutic approaches involving careful meal timing and food selection can help reverse type 2 diabetes in some people. Your body has an amazing ability to heal itself when given the right tools. These foods are some of those tools. Important considerations. Before we wrap up, there are a few important things to keep in mind. First, everyone's body responds differently to foods. What works amazingly for one person might have a more modest effect for someone else. That's why it's important to monitor your blood sugar and work with your healthcare team. Second, while these foods are incredibly beneficial, they work best as part of an overall healthy lifestyle that includes regular physical activity, adequate sleep, and stress management. Third, if you're taking diabetes medications, especially insulin, you'll need to coordinate dietary changes with your doctor. As your blood sugar improves, you might need medication adjustments to prevent hypoglycemia. Finally, be patient with yourself. Developing diabetes didn't happen overnight, and reversing it takes time too. Focus on progress, not perfection, and celebrate small victories along the way. If you found this information helpful, I'd love to hear about it in the comments below. Have you tried incorporating any of these foods into your diet? What changes have you noticed in your blood sugar levels? Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell if you want more evidence-based health content like this. I'm always diving into the latest research to bring you practical information you can actually use to improve your health. And if you're just starting your journey with diabetes management, check out our playlist on natural health approaches. There's tons more helpful information there to support you on your path to better health. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.